All right, guys, welcome back to the third episode of Relatively Chaotic with your three favorite cousins, Austin, Danielle, and Haley. Thank you to everybody that provided us feedback on the first episode. None of us have a background in this, so everybody that provides their thoughts just help us learn and grow and be a little bit better. Some of the feedback we got was people were curious on why we decided to start a podcast. And I think everybody probably has slightly different reasons. But I think the general consensus was we had kind of like fallen out of talking to each other as much as we used to. So this was kind of more like a higher pressure way to like stay in contact with each other. It's a lot easier to like not respond to a text or like blow off a phone call. But when you've committed to doing something like this, you're held accountable to doing this and like keeping in touch with each other. So that's kind of, I think, like the biggest reason. Does anybody have any additional thoughts to add to that?
Nope, just new experiences.
Yeah, I agree. I think the biggest one is what you mentioned, Haley. I think additionally, what you just said, Danielle, I was just curious what it would be like to jump into the world of podcasting. So, and then lastly, what I've also been marinating on is that I'm often in a role for my job that is like facilitator oriented and less like strong opinion or like giving my own opinion oriented. So I thought it would be interesting to like put myself in a position where I got to get my frank or candid opinion on record.
Gotta brush off your opinion, huh?
Yep. I'll give it.
Don't worry. I think Danielle and I excel at that, so we can help you along.
What?
Not a problem in any area.
Well, perfect. If anybody has any questions, they can always drop them in the comments, and we're happy to answer probably, I guess, most questions. If you get crazy, we might ignore you, but other than that, well, like I said, welcome back to the podcast. We're ready to move into our first segment, which is welcome to the group chat, where we catch up on each other's lives since the last time we chatted. Anybody have any big news or updates that they're dying to share? Or just want to go first?
Well, it was Valentine's Day since the last time we chatted. Am I
Yeah.
correct? Yep.
Yeah.
That I feel like is the thing that stands out the most since our last chatting. It was a like extravaganza, Lollapalooza of activities that happened that day, and it has been a minute since I've like planned a Valentine's Day. So that was an experience, a fun experience. But I did everything under the sun that day. I did an escape room, I did a brunch, I did a dinner, I did a bar. What else did we do? The most important and relevant thing to this crew. I lived my like Shane Hollander and Ilya Rosenoff fantasy by going to the I think it's the Winterhawks ice rink near Portland in my own Ilya Rosenoff jersey. So met some cool people. Those jerseys continue to be, I own both, and they continue to be the best connector ever. Anywhere I'm going about. Yeah. I'll say more about that someday, but I meet so many cool people.
I bet there's so many people that see them and they like have to come up to you and say something.
Yes. It's almost kind of like a secret signal. They're like, love your jersey. Wink.
That's great. I love that. Anything else new or exciting in your life since then? No, I don't even know what day it is, so.
Nope. Who really knows? No.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that stands out is the Valentine's Day extravaganza, Lollapalooza.
That's fun. Were you just with the person you've been spending time with recently, or were you like a group of people, or just the two of you?
One every hour, Haley. One every hour.
I meant like a group of friends, not like a lineup, but
fine.
No judgment.
Your view of me stands out. It's clear. Fine. No, I was with. Well, I spent the day with the one person, really cool guy that I've been going on dates with. But the day itself involved. Well, most of the day was just him and me, and then the latter half of the evening, we met up with some of my friends for the escape room and the like bar afterwards. So yeah,
it was not a crazy question.
A group affair. Fine. Just because I'm in Portland doesn't mean I'm doing all the crazy things.
No judgment.
Thank you.
No judgment. You do you.
We listen and we don't judge.
That's
Just
right. Well, not
curiosity.
to you anyway. I mean, we listen to you. We don't judge you.
Right. What about y'all?
Yeah.
Did either of you indulge in Valentine's Day?
Our Valentine's Day was a boring married couple Valentine's Day. We went appliance shopping.
What appliance?
We got a new washer and dryer and a new dishwasher.
Ooh.
Yeah, the whole thing. So it was just a lot of walking around comparing watch. It was not very exciting. And then we came home. I don't remember what we had for dinner, but we watched so Ryan, Sophia, my daughter, and I, the three of us, we watched, I think, a movie and had dinner. And then the next day we did like a group date with a couple of other couples. We went out to a new restaurant and one of our favorite breweries. So yeah, it was a good weekend overall, but it was not very like, wild and crazy fun Valentine's Day. It was just old married couple going to do old married couple things.
I don't know, Haley, if washer dryer shopping is y'all's kink. No judge, That's what you need to do. I feel like I would care a lot about the jingle. Like, can you play me the sound it makes when it's done, please?
Okay, do you know what's funny is that all three of them have an app and you can set the jingle.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
And so one of them plays oh God, I'm not gonna be able to remember the song. Anyway, they both play different songs, the washer and the dryer. I would assume he set them that way, so that way we would know if it was the washer or the dryer. But because it has an app, it also texts you and tells you. It's like
Wow.
fancy.
That is
Fancy. He always has all the fancy stuff, and now I have it too because we're married. So, but yeah, that's what we did. Wild and thrilling. So, what about you, Danielle? Did you do anything fun
I was
for
like,
Valentine's
that's
Day?
still way more exciting than I did. I ordered in Mediterranean food.
Love
and I binged watched TV. I don't even remember what I watched. So, oh no, guys. So, I found a TV show on Netflix. You know I love my period dramas. It is called, I don't even know, Serdican, the Pirate King. And it's about like an island of people who were enslaved, and this pirate apparently is like related to them and comes back for like vengeance, and it was a great time. So I binge watched 8 episodes of a TV show and ordered in takeout, and it was great. It was a gift from me to me because I deserve it. So
Well, of course. I have a question though.
Yeah.
This is a TV series on Netflix. Are there any actors or actresses like either of us would recognize that are in it?
that you guys would recognize.
Yep.
Let's see. Have you watched Discovery of Witches?
I watched the first season.
So the bad guy in that is the dad of the girl, like the bad witch, like Peter. That's the only actor I recognize. I just was like, you're from other period dramas.
That makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to text me the name of it because I definitely don't remember it, and I'll check it out.
Yeah. I mean, he's a beautiful man, if nothing else. So
Beautiful. And I assume bearded if he's a pirate.
he is, and he has long hair, and I think he's Malaysian. Gorgeous. Good at fighting.
All right. I recently got Netflix. I'll have to look this up.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Any other updates before we move into a new segment that I created?
Did I already tell you guys I got a car? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Then
you
no.
did.
I can't afford anything else now, so I have a car.
Love it.
Is that car panning out how you hoped? All the bells and whistles, what you needed, what you expected? Yeah. Great.
Yeah. I was like, it runs. I got decorations for it. I'm gonna put static cling that's sparkly on the moonroof. So when that comes, I'll you guys and exciting stuff over here.
That's great. I'm glad you brought up decorations. I didn't actually know what else to ask about your car, not knowing anything about cars.
I got coasters that look like records. And I got little bows to hang my bag on. and I will have static cling, and then I gotta find something for my dash, but you can't rush perfection.
Ooh.
So
Okay, so I got a new car almost a year ago, and when we brought it home from the dealer, there was this tiny little My Little Pony in it, and so now she's like my mascot, and she sits
Yes.
like in my kind of like where my cup holders are. We have like a weird console thing, but if you find something that you can like stick to your dashboard without like ruining your dashboard, let me know, because I really want to put her in a safe spot because she kind of gets smashed sometimes. But she's my little mascot now. She's a rainbow dash for anybody that watches My Little Pony. But yeah, she's my little mascot.
I love it. I'll let you know. Report back.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You have all kinds of homework. I like it. Better you than me. All right, so our new segment that I added is called Out of Pocket, where one of us asks the others a super random question. It can be really anything that you want it to be. I already came prepared with a question since I'm the one that created the new segment, but in the future, if you have a question that you want to ask, just feel free to shout out. Okay, so this one, the reason I'm asking it is because it's kind of like a debate between my like friends and I on if this is something that you should or shouldn't do. So when you are out in the world and you stop at a gas station like just to go to the bathroom, do you feel obligated to buy something when you're in the gas station, or do you just go to the bathroom and leave?
I go to the bathroom and leave. I do not feel obligated to buy anything at the gas station. Like, no.
I think I'm similar, Danielle. I don't feel obligated to buy anything, but I feel very interested in browsing. So, so I might not buy anything, but I'm probably gonna walk every aisle, which is also generally how I grocery shop, and
Mm-hmm.
coincidentally, one of the reasons that my sister hates shopping with me, especially because I'll talk out loud what I'm thinking as I'm viewing the options, just like an external processing. Same thing happens at the gas station.
That's funny. I also would not want to go grocery shopping with you, Austin. I don't walk up
Rude.
and down every aisle because if I'm going to the grocery store, I already know what I need. Um,
What happened to
uh,
whimsy or inspiration? That's my favorite kind
Not at
of.
the grocery store.
What do you mean? I mean, don't go hungry, but like go open to the universe, ready for your dietary and culinary inspirations to like take the wheel.
Okay, do you know where you do that is at Aldi or like Trader Joe's, where they have like the fun seasonal things that come out? That's where you find your whimsy. But at the regular grocery store where I'm just getting my regular stuff, no, there's no whimsy.
Danielle, are you a whimsical shopper? It sounds like you're on Haley's page.
I am probably more whimsical than she is, but I'm also more efficient than you are for sure because
Rude.
I've been grocery shopping with you and it is a form of torture. There's no reason you should spend 30 minutes in one aisle. Like, who has that time? That's what I love,
Yeah.
that you are particular and you are not going to be rushed. But I love that for you on your own time when I'm not with you.
I think the problem is that, well, or the opportunity is that I am a quality time person who finds many reasons to feel like the thing is quality time. So being in the grocery store, watching a movie at home, tomato, potato. I'm spending quality time with people there.
I don't think that's how that saying goes, but I appreciate you. Okay, so I am on the same page as you. If I am going somewhere to go to the bathroom, I just go to the bathroom. Like there is no shopping. But I have a couple of friends that do not feel the same way. Shout out specifically to my friend Holly, who is the reason why I asked this question, because every time, so we have season tickets to Iowa football, and so we go tailgating. And every time we're on our way there, for reference, it's about 2 hours away from where we live. We always stop at the same gas station to go to the bathroom, and she always has to buy something. And she's like, "Well, don't you feel bad?" I'm like, "No, it's a convenience store. It's conveniently there for me to go to the bathroom. Like if I need something, I'll buy something." But that is why that topic came up, because we do not agree on that. She thinks that we need to buy something every time. But so then she just buys two things, and that makes up for me. So we're fine.
I have so many feelings about this because I feel like if they didn't want you to use their bathroom, they would say must purchase. Like there are places that do that where they tell you that they have to purchase. And I mean, it'd be one thing if I was going in there like ripping up the bathroom, you know what I mean? Like that I would maybe feel guilty then, but like that's not what's happening. So I don't understand it. And also like it's a corporation. Why do we feel guilty about corporations?
Here, Danielle. Here.
They have money. They
First and
fine.
foremost. Yep.
Yeah, I ain't feeling bad about
No.
billionaires. Like, I mean, it's not them who are cleaning the bathrooms, but still, like, they're also the people who are working there aren't necessarily seeing that direct profit either. So
Yeah, I
there's
think
no guilt here.
I think that's a great point, Danielle. And then also the other thing you said reminded me that I probably shift my attitude. Closer or more in a big city I am. So just because it's such a common, like you're saying, such a more common thing to see, like downtown Portland, most places you can't actually use the restroom in there unless you buy something. So I kind of like accept that as the culture of downtown. So the more inside a big city I am, the more likely I'm like, well, I guess I gotta buy something. Because that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the rule, that's the rule. If I have to buy something, I will, but I'm not going to feel obligated to buy something just because I used your restroom. Don't be open to the public then. Well, I wonder how much of that comes from our parents.
Well,
I'm sure that Holly's parents would probably say you have to buy something. She probably came by that, honestly.
That's an interesting question, Haley, because my understanding was you wouldn't have been able to allow to get out of the car to use the restroom in the first place, perhaps, on any of your road trips.
No. So we were not. So if the only time that we stopped on a road trip is if my mom had to go to the bathroom. Otherwise, you're correct. She would not just stop anytime I have to go to the bathroom, which is when Ryan and I first started dating. I was like, listen, if we go anywhere together for any time of distance and I tell you I have to go to the bathroom, we're stopping. And he's like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't we stop? And I was like, that's a great question. But I had to hold it a lot when even now as an adult, if we go somewhere, she does not want to stop.
And that's why you guys don't drive together.
Yeah, and that's why we don't drive together. So sorry, Mom. But you know what? When you got to go, you got to go. And I'll pee on your seat. I don't care. I'll sit in the back. She has 3 rows.
That's going to be
I'll
hard.
pee on every seat.
That's going to be hard to navigate. Maybe, as a parent, though, like knowing, like having a boundary for your kids and like, when is it appropriate? Like, all right, we will have to stop for that versus like, well, you should have planned ahead.
I think that I could plan ahead, and unless I dehydrate myself starting the day prior, I just have a tiny bladder and I have to go all the time. So
Same.
I just, and then of course I've dehydrated myself when we have other problems. So
Also, she is almost 40, so like she has the skill set to just like know if it's serious or not. So yes, I do my best, but listen, sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. And after kids, that bladder control really becomes a problem. So
I feel like
it is what it is.
I feel like the other thing I should say is shout out to Linda, your mom Haley, who we of course adore.
Of course.
Yeah. Just stop the car when people have to go to the bathroom.
I'll let you ask
just some feedback.
Okay, so any other additional comments about the out of pocket question segment that we just added for today?
We Gucci.
Wonderful. All right, so we're moving into our factory settings segment, and this segment is where we talk about our personality traits, something that we all kind of do already naturally. So it seemed like a fitting segment to have as a part of the podcast, since these are things that we talk about anyway. This week, we are talking about attachment styles. So just a brief overview of what attachment styles are, and then the types of attachment styles before we dive into every individual attachment style. So attachment styles are the quiet architects of our relationships. They sketch the blueprint for how we connect, cling, retreat, or breathe easy with the people we love. Most modern psychology traces them back to the work of John Bowlby and later research by Mary Ainsworth. So the different types of attachment styles are secure attachment. So this would be considered like the emotional home base. Securely attached people tend to feel comfortable with closeness and comfortable with independence. Then there is the anxious attachment style, the don't leave me frequency. Anxiously attached people crave closeness but fear losing it. They often monitor for signs of rejection, reading subtext like it's a coded message. Silence can feel like a threat. Distance can feel catastrophic. And then you've got avoidant attachment, the I got this shield. Avoidantly attached individuals value independence so strongly that closeness can feel intrusive. When intimacy deepens, they may pull back. Emotional vulnerability feels risky, so they keep the drawbridge up. And then the last style is disorganized attachment, the push-pull paradox. This style blends anxious and avoidant tendencies. People with disorganized attachment often want closeness, but also fear it. Relationships can feel intense and confusing because safety and threat get tangled together. So we all took a test through the attachment project where you can figure out your attachment style. I believe in the quiz they ask you your attachment style or like how you relate to like your parents, a significant other, maybe your friends, and that's how they help determine what your attachment style is. So shout out to the attachment project. Their mission is just to help support and guide people through their journey in life. But yeah, so who wants to go first in your attachment style, like what you found out about yourself?
I can go first. I don't know that I agree with this, but I am happy about it. I am secure as general attachment style, guys. So look at me having healthy relationships. So I think it breaks it down, like you said, into like with each of your parents, your romantic style, and then like your attachment at work. So for work, I got secure. For both my parents, I got secure. And then for romantic, I got anxious, preoccupied, um, which I guess I'm interpreting because it doesn't really break it down on here, unless you pay for it, and I ain't doing that.
They will.
Uh, but I'm assuming that's just like I don't make the time for it because it makes me anxious, which is, yeah, valid, super, super valid. So other than that, I would say of these, it says that I have the best relationship with my mother. So rock on. Thanks, Mom. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm secure and healthy, and I don't know that I agree with that, but I'm gonna take a win, and say good on me for having my needs adequately met during my formative years per this report that they sent me. So 3 of my 4 are secure attachments.
What
And
did
that
you
makes
say
sense.
oh, sorry. What did you say your other one? What you said it was
Anxious,
anxious.
preoccupied.
We're gonna look that up.
Do it.
While she's doing that, what did you think your attachment style would be, Danielle?
I thought it would be avoid it. It's like
In
I
all
would
of the.
rather just do it and not have to deal with the feelings of it.
Interesting.
But the questions that it asked was like, do you feel comfortable like having conversations about things? And I'm like, yeah. Like I'll tell you what I think and feel.
Yeah, that's interesting because this is obviously based on our own perception. Like how are we accurate reporters, right?
Yeah.
I think it depends too, because like the people, for the most part, the people that it's asking about are people that you spend a lot of time with. So
Yeah.
I mean, it, again, would be secure in theory, hopefully, to these people. So for the anxious, preoccupied, so deep desire would be closeness, reassurance, emotional fusion, core fear, abandonment, or being too much and pushed away. There's often a strong sense of if I can just feel secure enough, I'll finally relax. So, does that kind of
Yeah,
sound
that
familiar?
rings true.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a nervous system that learned love can disappear without warning, so it keeps scanning the horizon.
It's fine. There's not any trauma there. It's totally chill. Um, yeah, that makes sense. That's why I'm like, nah, is it worth it? We'll see. I also learned about my self-esteem, which is high, you guys, so good on me. And then I have medium emotional regulation, which also feels right. I will be fine until I crash out, so
Yeah, I'm not shocked by either of those things.
no.
But good on you. Always good to learn about yourself.
Exactly. Were you guys surprised by, well, Haley just said she wasn't, but
I'm not surprised based on, I think I have the same reaction as you, Danielle. I feel like based on how you actually interact with the world and express yourself, I think it makes sense.
yeah.
Yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I
It
think
says on the report, preoccupied is high anxiety, low avoidance. So I'll do it. I just don't enjoy it, which I definitely am just anxious by nature. So that's
Yeah,
just
that makes sense.
living my life.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's all right. Let's circle back. I based on your interact with the world, I can see how it's secure, and I think the fact that you're willing to communicate about like what things make you anxious could like overinflate how like anxious you might like be perceived, right? Like if you're often talking about your feelings, then those are the things that I'm taking in as like perhaps your interaction with the world. But that doesn't mean you're actually more anxious than someone else. You just
Fair.
are willing to communicate about them.
That is true.
So kudos on letting it all out, Danielle.
I do my best. Gotta let it out, Captain.
That's right. Well, Austin, so you said you were not surprised by your attachment style.
Mm-mm.
What did you come up with?
Well,
Or what did they come up
do
with
either
for
of you
you?
want to guess what I got?
I'm gonna guess secure, but I could be wrong.
Danielle?
I'm gonna say avoidance
Wow.
of some sort.
I feel like a past me might have gotten that for sure, but I did get secure.
Good.
That is for sure. Yeah, I don't think I was surprised, mainly because I had kind of like so I was in relationship counseling in my previous relationship for a while, and you know that framework came up through our discussions as well. So I have had a more like recent in life reflection on where I might land, and yeah, so secure has definitely been it. I think what is interesting is, as you know, part of the description for secure included, what was it? Let's see, like, you know, I'm willing to be open and express myself comfortably about my feelings. And I feel like that is the case. However, I also feel like I get feedback that I'm like I don't know, like I'm a mystery to, I don't know, other people in my life, and I get confused by that feedback sometimes.
I think you're just very private about specific things. So maybe that leads the path of mysterious.
That's an interesting point.
Well, and like maybe just more private about specific things with specific people. Like,
Fair.
you know, you don't open up to everybody. You're not, you know, sometimes I trauma dump on people, not even trauma dump. Sometimes I just can't stop talking. I'm a yapper, you guys. So sometimes I'll be talking to somebody and then I'm like, well, just revealed that deep, dark, whatever. Didn't mean to. It just kind of came out. But not everybody is like that. Sometimes there's just not always a need to share some of that stuff. So I don't know that that's necessarily avoidant. Maybe it's just that you're better at self-regulating.
Hard to say. I think, yeah, I mean, definitely depends on the context. Like, yeah, I think there's certain contexts where I'm going to be like certainly more reserved about what I'm like letting out. However, this does remind me, I feel like we talked about this previously. I don't know about in recorded format or not, but I feel like we talked about this, which is that one of my values is curiosity, and two, that comes out in me being often a more like, I don't want to say aggressive questioner, but just like a quicker questioner on all the things that I'm just curious about when I'm talking with someone, hopefully in a like tactful and natural way. But edgewise, that does mean I'm often dominating the narrative of a discussion and I'm not getting those questions back at me. So maybe that's part of what makes me like seem unknown is because I'm not saving space for someone to ask me questions.
Yeah, I do think we talked about it a little bit because I think that kind of feeds into like the Gemini personality of like asking questions without having it pulled up in front of me. But I do feel like that was a piece of that is like your curious nature has you asking questions. So I could totally see where somebody's like, you're always asking questions, and then to your point, maybe they don't ask questions back, or they could just not have any questions. Maybe their personality type is just, I don't have any questions. I'm happy to answer all of yours.
I love hearing you say this though, Austin, because I get told I interrogate people all the time, and I'm like, I'm just curious. Like, what do you mean you have nothing to like talk about? You've never thought about this like off the wall weird thing, and you have nothing to comment on about it? What do you mean? I don't understand. So no, I definitely get that, but I don't think I come off as mysterious. Probably because I'm a yapper, so I yap, but also am gonna grill you.
Yeah, Danielle, I think you do have that, I'm going to call it a nice balance of asking questions, but also yapping. I think that I have a tendency to not ask questions, and it's not because I'm not curious. It's just that my brain has no filter. And so, like, if it pops in there, I'm saying it. And sometimes it's at an appropriate time, and sometimes it's just like, this thought just popped into my head, and I have to say it, otherwise I'm going to forget. And then I was supposed to ask you a question reciprocally. I don't think that I said that right, but whatever. It's not, again, like, it's not that I'm not curious about people. It's just that I just sometimes don't think of it because other things are running through my head. Like, Danielle, I think I sent you this TikTok today or maybe yesterday, but there's this like ADHD trait where someone will tell you a story and then you tell them a similar story. And it's not because you're not interested in their story, but it's because you're showing that you're relating to them by telling a similar story. And I definitely do that. I do that all the time. And again, like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to like steal your thunder. I'm just trying to relate to you. Which of course now I know it's an ADHD trait, but for a long time, I'm sure people thought, man, this lady, she's taking over.
When I found out that interrupting people and like talking about yourself in that situation were ADHD traits, I was like, I feel so validated because I do that all the time, and then I feel bad, but I like get so excited about what you're telling me that I'm like, let me bond, like let me relate to you, like it's gonna be great, and then I'm like, oh, I just made this about me, and that's my bad. So maybe that's also why I grill people, so I can be like, and
Yeah.
I care about you too.
I will say, oh, sorry, go ahead, Haley.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I will say, I agree, Danielle, you're great at grilling. But two, I feel like, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but when I think about questions that you might ask, Danielle, sometimes it reminds me of questions my sister might ask. And like that they're more likely to be whimsical.
That's fair. Just like off the wall.
Yeah.
Keep it interesting. Like people can always ask you about your goals, but has anyone ever asked you like what kind of beetle you would be? I don't know. Give it some thought.
See, this is why I decided to add this segment because Danielle asked all kinds of questions I will never forget. So during COVID, people were social distancing and all of that, and Austin came to visit. And we were like, okay, so what can we do that's an adventure, but also is like in the mind of like social distancing? And I have a friend and her husband that like was our like pod of people that we would spend time with, knowing who they were kind of hanging out with and all of that. And so what we decided to do was go visit the bridges of Madison County because that's an outside activity. And my friend's husband had not really spent any time with Danielle, and the question that she asked that day was if you had to lose a thumb or a toe, which one would you lose? And he was like, what? And it was really funny because obviously knowing Danielle and spending a lot of time with you, I was just like, oh no, I have to think of this. And he was just like, I don't know what's happening right now. And he brings it up still occasionally.
Does
So
he?
shout out to Matt and Amy, my friends. He's like, why did she ask that? And I'm like, I don't know.
That's not even top 10 weirdest questions I've
Yeah,
ever seen.
I mean,
like, that's
it was great.
nothing.
It was great. But all right. So any other thoughts about your attachment style, Austin?
Oh,
You think that they nailed it? We've kind of gone off
I got so
the rails a little bit. But
I maybe have two other things to say. One, just on that last story that you told, I was immediately distracted by on one of those bridges was that a graffiti that said "Be gay, do crime," and I've literally never forgot about that. And I've seen it other places, and it still boggles my mind. As someone in the LGBTQ community, I just like had never seen that motto before, and I guess I should do crime. I don't know.
yeah, so do you know what's funny is that, okay, so yes, there was a bridge, I don't remember which one, that had "Be gay, do crimes," but there's a restaurant in Winterset that I went to one time with like my family, because that's where my dad's family is from, and it was like written on the bathroom stall, and I was like, ah!
This is amazing.
I know.
There was
Every
a
time
gay
I
on
see
a
it, I love
crime
it.
spree. Like, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, they vandalized a bridge. Be gay, do crimes.
Oh my God. Okay, the other thing I would say, and then we could definitely move on, it doesn't have to be about me, but the other thing that I would say, as someone who is in a profession now where I'm regularly doing like retrospectives or reflections or like, let's look back at the journey that this took, and I bring that work into my like dance career as well. Like I bring it everywhere, and I love reflecting. You guys know I love reflecting. So that's why one of the reasons this like personality piece is like so fun. As someone who like regularly facilitates those conversations, it like then feels especially like I'm especially annoyed that someone might say that I like am a mystery, because I'm like, I'm reflecting all the time. I hold those conversations all the time. I bring up questions for these things all the time. I'll reflect right now. But
Sounds like a threat.
yeah. I'll reflect at you. Anyway, it's fine. I'm over it. How about you,
Okay.
Haley?
Yeah. So I also got the secure attachment style. Some of the key things that I just thought were really funny, and I'm sure that you guys will. The first bullet point was you have a favorable view of yourself.
Yeah.
You have a strong sense of self and self-agency. And I will say something that I say all of the time is I have so much self-confidence, like in my ability to do anything. I will find myself in a lot of situations because I'm like, of course I can do it. What do you mean I can't? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it. Now, did I do it right? Maybe not, but I lived, and that's so yeah, my self-confidence is sky high. We have no problems there. So I thought that was really funny. And then, yeah, I don't know that there was anything really else of note other than that one. I think the rest of it just kind of falls under the basic, like, secure attachment styles.
Look at us, guys. Look at us.
Yeah, look at us winning. Just to, like, throw these things out there for anybody that might be listening and they are curious about what their attachment styles might be. Again, you can take the quiz for free at the Attachment Project. So if any of those resonate with you, feel free to take that quiz and see what your style is.
Haley, before we move on
Yeah.
from this or from you, I feel like we didn't get a lot of chance to dive deeply into your side of the house. I would be curious to know if you know or have a guess on what Ryan's attachment style is.
Oh, that's a great question. I think that when we were in Arizona with you guys, I think that we made him take it, but I'm not sure that any of us were sober enough to remember. I would say that he's probably or maybe that was just me.
It's a little late in the day for character assassination, Haley.
That's my
He's reflecting at you.
my apologies. Nailed it. Yeah, I don't know what Ryan's style would be. I would say for the most part he's probably secure. I don't know. We seem secure, so I guess really, but he has a great relationship with his mom and his brother. So I mean, I would say that
Hmm.
That's probably where he falls. He does have a little bit more anxiety than I do, but honestly, that's not hard. So,
Sure. Yeah.
um, depending on the situation, I can get a little bit of social anxiety, but again, for the most part, not super anxious.
Has your self-confidence ever gotten you into trouble, Haley?
Oh, for sure.
Tell me more.
For sure. Well, so I just like end up in places that I shouldn't be because I think like you a little bit of natural curiosity, and so I'm just like, what's over there? Who can I see? What can I do? What can I get away with? I really enjoy trying to, I don't want to say trick people, but kind of trick people into seeing like what I can get away with. So I'll just like show up in places and just start talking to people, which is funny again because like I just said, I had social anxiety. But I think if I've got an end goal that I'm pretty passionate about in that moment, that the anxiety doesn't bother me as much. But like way back in the day, I used to travel. Well, I travel by myself a lot of places, and I'll go places that probably aren't very safe. And I have far less fear than I probably should. But yeah, I'm sure that there's many an incident where I should have gotten into more trouble and I just talked my way out of it. So just got myself into trouble, got myself right back out.
Well, if I could throw back to something that you said as a part of this monologue, I would just add that something I recently read that I think stands out and is to your benefit, like you were saying, Haley, is that that there was this like person talking about the mindset of like that question, like I wonder if I can get away with blank, as like being a mindset to take into everywhere in your life, whether it be like professional or otherwise, as a way to avoid like you limiting yourself, right? And as a way to like keep yourself open to, I guess, possibilities and or like what you're capable of. And it kind of resonated. So everything that you were just saying just reminded me of that. And so I think, as you were just saying, past has shown that has been to your benefit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a college degree. I didn't really have a direction. I literally just took a full-time job because I needed a full-time job. And every time an opportunity came up, if I was even just like a little bit qualified for it, I would apply for it. And I think that I interview really well. So, and I'm always honest about like this is my limitation, but I do have a thirst for knowledge, even though I didn't go to college. Like, so I think that has benefited me. I ended up in a career that never would have gotten here had I not taken all of those chances. So I definitely think it has benefited me.
Woohoo.
Awesome. Well, any other statements to make about attachment styles before we move on to our next segment of the day? No, I'm getting a no. Sweet. So we are moving into our hot take spiral. This is our main discussion of the podcast where we talk about a specific topic. We have decided to talk about the Super Bowl in this episode. So we did chat and confirm that everyone watched at least part of the Super Bowl. Not big sports fans here. So my apologies to anybody who thought you'd be getting a play-by-play of each touchdown. Don't even know if anyone made a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So, but yeah, we're going to talk about the fun things about the Super Bowl. So anyone have any initial thoughts on what they did see of the Super Bowl?
I do. So the concerts were great. Loved it. The game was hella boring. I was very happy that the Seahawks won because I don't care about sports, and one of my teammates really wanted them to win, and I was like, good on you, Jenny. Shout out to Jenny. Happy for her. She's been a Seahawks fan for a long time, so hooray. Support. I don't feel like the commercials were that good this year. Like, I was like, what is going on here? I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to my friend's house and it was an excuse to eat. And then we would switch when the game was on, off and on, to watch Traders to catch up. So that was a much better use of my time. We tried and we were like, this is real boring. And we would like go back to check on the game and it was the same score. So we were like, nothing happened. It's fine. So I thought the halftime show was awesome. I think Bad Bunny's a beautiful man, and he did a wonderful job.
That's interesting that you mentioned the commercials. I didn't watch any of the game besides the halftime show, and I also heard from other friends that the commercials were like not up to
Eh,
snuff this year. So that must be a there if that's the case. Were there any that did stand out to you? It was like, oh, that one was fun.
no.
None, nothing memorable.
No, like literally
So
don't remember any of them.
yeah, I agree with Danielle. The commercials were very lackluster, and that's literally the commercials and the halftime show are the only thing that I tune in for. There were
Hmm.
two commercials that I liked. One I had already seen before. It is I think it's like an insurance commercial, but Lady Gaga sang the Mr. Rogers theme song.
Oh,
It's a beautiful commercial. It's a
Yeah.
tearjerker, but I had already seen it. So, great commercial if you want to YouTube it. Um, and then the other one that I saw that I thought was funny, I don't remember exactly what happened. I just remember it being funny, was the Dunkin' Donuts commercial with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They were kind of doing like a spoof on Good Will Hunting. And there was a ton of famous people in it. I remember it being funny. I remember seeing all the famous people, but I couldn't tell you what happened. Um, so yeah, overall, the commercials were kind of a downer. And then Sophia and I stopped watching after halftime. So normally every year we have a big Super Bowl party, and Ryan was out of town at hockey. So we did not this year. So we didn't watch it other than to that point. Um, so I will say that Charlie Puth sang the national anthem. He did a fantastic job. Again, if you didn't hear it, I'm sure you can YouTube it. Um, I think he gave an interview that was like, he's never going to be able to compete with like the Whitney Houston version. So he just wanted to kind of like give his own version. Like he can't sing like her or whatever. And I thought he did a great job. I think he had like a live gospel choir or something come out with him and did a great job. And then, yeah, the Bad Bunny halftime show was fantastic. I thought it was great. I loved all of the little details.
Hmm.
Um, so if you didn't know, so there was a live wedding that happened during his performance. He served as a witness. What's crazy about that is like so a lot of times when people get married, they'll just send out invites to like companies or famous people in the hopes that they'll send them something cool. And he was like, okay, so I can't come to your wedding, but what if you come to the Super Bowl and I like witness you get married? So that I thought was really cool. And then there was like so much symbolism and all the things that he did. So the number 64 that he wore on his like jersey or his shirt was to honor his uncle, who was the one that got him interested in football. That's like how they bonded, and I believe his uncle had passed away. And then the La Casita, like the house is like a traditional style house, had a ton of like famous
Hmm.
people in there, Pedro Pascal, Jessica Alba, like um that was really fun. And then I cannot tell you, you guys, when I saw Ricky Martin,
I know.
I was like, Ricky Martin. And Sophia was like, who? And I'm like, you don't even know. He was so cool. Um, and
I
then the other thing that I liked, other than I enjoyed Lady Gaga as well, but the other thing I thought was really cool is so like in the setting, um, there was like street carts and business, like with businesses' names. They are real businesses, so they are businesses that he knows that he invited to be there, which I thought was really cool as well. Just a way to invite, like, get that community feel that he was going for with the set that he had. Um, and then a way to like hopefully boost or like give back or benefit that business. And then one final thought was the real people who were dressed as grass who were wandering around
oh yeah.
the field. I thought that was fantastic. They cracked me up. So those are all of my thoughts on the Super Bowl. Again, once halftime was over, we stopped watching. So couldn't tell you anything about that football game. I'm not even entirely sure if anybody made a touchdown. I think that was just a lot of kicking. So like I don't even know. But yeah, Austin, you said you watched the halftime show. What were your thoughts
I
on it?
did. Well, interesting. I feel like I wasn't as impacted by Ricky Martin, though I believe he's a part of my community, so that's great to have inclusion. But I wasn't as I feel like I never got into his music or like he's such a what, 90s? Would you call him a 90s heartthrob?
It was
Danielle, let's just talk about this for a second. Danielle Irish goodbyes us so often.
Every time she does it. I don't know, like she just kind of goes away and then she's gone. Like, and I just remembered that we didn't get her thoughts on Taylor Swift song from last week either. So, yes, to your question, Ricky Martin, he was like a late 90s, early thousands artist. So right when I was like in middle school is when Livin' La Vida Loca came out, and that was like the coolest. So I lost my mind.
I feel like mostly his music, he's like on the original Shrek soundtrack, and I feel like that's what comes to mind when I think of Ricky Martin.
Yeah, so it's you're just a little bit younger than me. So that makes sense. Because I would have been like junior high when the first Shrek came out, so that makes sense.
Okay. But I mean, otherwise, I generally enjoyed the performance. I thought it was like a well-crafted journey. Certainly maybe needed one in this current political environment that we're in. So, good to have that community spoken to directly. What else? I was excited to see Gaga, and by virtue of that being there and some of the like follow-on coverage that happened after that, I learned that he was like a huge Lady Gaga fan, which is kind of cool to hear. And I was like intrigued by the like celebrities that he had in front of that like main building. That was interesting. The grass. I saw a lot of things in my feed about the grass. Which I thought
they just cracked me up. Like, I want that job, just walking around as grass, like on the
So I think I generally enjoyed it. I think I've become a little biased on the type of performance that I want to see at the Super Bowl, and it's largely informed by me wanting some sort of like, I'm gonna say like diva theatrical experience that you get when like Gaga or Beyonce or Madonna show up on that stage, and they're just not the same type of like show, obviously, as like Bad Bunny, and actually, so I feel like that's what I'm looking for, and that wasn't necessarily the case for Bad Bunny, but I would say most often has been the case that when I see male performers at the what was this, the Super Bowl? This is Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. Welcome back.
Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, relatively chaotic for sure. Sorry.
Okay.
We were just commenting that, like, at literally every episode, you just randomly Irish goodbye us.
It's fine. It's a love language.
I get tired of you. Need a break.
It's kind of like Haley's version of just like migrating to a different room when she gets bored. She just like.
I do. I just leave. I do Irish
a wanderer.
I wander away. Yeah.
But I'll finish. I would just finish my thoughts, Danielle, on the Super Bowl. And I think the last thing I would say is, although I'm usually not that enthralled with a lot of the male performers, like show when they do that at the Super Bowl, just because it's not as big as some of the divas that come to that place. I was actually like, I would say he stands out as like the leading male performer in my like history. Like I wasn't watching football when like maybe Michael Jackson or someone. Actually, Michael Jackson was like the first big star, I think, to perform at the Super Bowl. But anyway, so I think Bad Bunny stands out comparatively to all the other male performers I've seen in that arena. So kudos to him.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. It was really entertaining, and I loved all the little details that he kind of threw in there. That was really fun to see. And then like later to be like, well, what did that mean? What did this mean? What was that? Like, so yeah, it was really fun.
As a Taylor Swift fan, I love Easter eggs, so it was all about it.
Exactly. Well, that's a great segue potentially into our final segment of the day. Does anyone else have any thoughts on the Super Bowl? Obviously, Danielle, you missed a chunk there in the middle, but I think you got all the important parts. Yeah. So anybody else have any thoughts on what you saw at the Super Bowl before we move into our last one?
I'm sure whatever you said was very insightful, Austin.
You can be honest, Danielle. You left because you were tired of me reflecting at you.
I didn't want to hear you talk.
It's fine. We can move on.
All right, perfect. So, well, I guess technically we have kind of a little bit of two songs to go over today, but we're going to move into Are We Ready for Taylor? the song that as a group we're going to go over for the first time today is Opalite. But before we dive into that, Danielle, would you like to give us your thoughts on You Belong With Me? Because last time you dipped out before you had a chance to tell us how you thought.
Yeah, glad I'm
what you
back. Don't want to miss anything, you know? I would say, like, we had talked about it last time. I heard what you guys had said. I just, vominos. But, I also get very, like, strong nostalgic feelings about that song. Like, it makes me think of high school. It makes me think of, like, early college. It makes me feel like warm and fuzzy. I know we talked, it wasn't like her most powerful lyrics, but it is just like a bop. Like, it's like a glitter gel pen song, right? Where it's like, you just want to dance and like blast it in your car kind of a thing. So I love it. It's a goodie. And then I would say, love the music video. I watched that like obsessively, when it first came out on YouTube. And then the favorite lyrics was just like so pick me, but again, I was in high school, you guys, so like be chill. Whereas she wears high heels, I wear sneakers, she's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers, like just like, oh my god, like yeah, she's so basic kind of a thing, which is not really how I feel about other women, but like I don't know, it was just so sassy when it came out at the time, and I was like, I love it, yeah. So those are my thoughts. I'm sure you guys have been waiting with bated breath, so
Yes.
there you are.
I couldn't wait to hear your thoughts on
I know.
it. Awesome. Well, then, now that we have your feedback, but we're going to move into this week's episode, or this week's song, which is Opalite, off of her latest album, Life of a Showgirl. Which I freaking love that whole album, and I love this song.
I'll dive in. Hopefully you all have seen the
it.
music video. Have you watched it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
good. So many Easter eggs. So many famous people. The fact that he got the whole Graham Norton show. Like, Cillian Murphy is in it, and he turns down, like, super well-paying famous scripts, and he is in a Taylor Swift music video, and it just makes me so ungodly happy, because A, I have a crush on him, and B, like, it's just not his norm, and I'm obsessed. And then there's just too many things to freaking cover. I feel like it's also, like, a glitter gel pen song, but then like all of the dark things, like she sprays herself with the opalite, you guys, and it makes me want to cry because she thinks she's the problem. So I'm like, it's like her obviously moving on from her relationship with Joe, and now she found someone and he's the freaking rock with the friendship bracelet, and I love it so much. Like,
Can I pause you there for a sec?
Yeah.
I have a super important question for you because I learned something new about you. Well, I learned a lot of new things about you, but I've learned something new about you that stood out. You said that Cillian Murphy is someone you have a crush on. Is that what you said?
For sure. Yeah.
And I'm just looking up who this is now as a reminder. But,
he's in Peaky Blinders, if that helps you.
Thomas fucking Shelby.
Wait, so that's my question. I feel like I can only think of one movie that I couldn't even name, and it was like a thriller movie that it was on an airplane, maybe, that he was in.
I think it's Red Eye with Rachel McAdams.
Yes, which is my main reference point for him. But Danielle, is there like a movie or show or something that like kicked off this listing of yours?
Oh, certainly Peaky Blinders, but he's also in Oppenheimer, and he's in Batman, and he's in a whole bunch of stuff. But in Peaky Blinders, like, I love that show. Again, it's a period drama, guys. Like,
I see.
I'm there. And he's not a good person in that show. But we've already talked about my attachment issues. So, like, you know what? It's fine. But
love a good villain.
Yes, but I also feel like he's just has like boundaries and like won't cross them as far as like what he's willing to do for acting, and he's still just so talented that, like, I don't know, you can tell he hates like doing press and any of these things. So like it's just not his vibe, but he's just so talented, so he has to do it. But yes, there's just so much. And then she's working out and he's not even like giving her a high five because she's preparing for the Eras tour, you guys, and she's saving him a seat. And then the invisible string that she's tying around her dress, like, I can't. It's too much. She's a genius. There's probably more that I didn't even pick up on or the internet didn't tell me. And, like, she is sick. because she's too smart and it's overwhelming.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't pick up as many of those Easter eggs as you did, Danielle. But I know I feel like you have a lock on a lot of the like tailored lore, and you probably, Haley, have more of that than I do. But what I did what I did enjoy coming out of that music video, especially, was all the Elmo material that has since come to light.
Elmo, how dare you?
Can I
Oh
tell
my
you
God.
guys something? I do like themed newsletters for my team where I just like send them updates that I've sent throughout the week, all collected in one place to be like, here's more information. Like if I throw it at you enough, you'll remember, right? But I make them themed, and I made it Elmo and Taylor Swift
Yes.
that week.
Unlikely duo.
I know. We have a
Oh, I
group
love it.
on my team that's just called Swifties, and then we will dissect anything that happens or like let each other know if there's sales, or you know what I mean, like, you know, like Swifties do. And they all appreciated it. Everyone else on my team was like, I don't care, because there's like 36 people, and like 6 of them were very into it, you guys. And that's why I do what I do, you know.
I feel like that's the missed opportunity for this music video, for it being 90s theme, was an Elmo cameo. That's my personal opinion on the matter.
I feel like that'll be her next thing, though, because like
Right.
it's been such a thing, and she totally would. Like, would love
Yeah,
to see
what
it.
song on? Yeah, we'll have to think about what song on the album might lean into.
Or maybe like a
great
different
Elmo.
album, because she's thinking 3 years ahead.
Yeah.
She's literally said it in interviews. Because she's
Yeah, she probably
a
has like
mastermind.
4 new albums already written, and they're just not recorded yet.
Gosh.
Okay, so what is your favorite lyric from this?
Oh God, it's so hard.
Yes, I agree. I really struggle.
This one, yeah, there's just so much to unpack, and I feel like every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh God. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay, Austin, thoughts on the song, the music video, whatever you got.
Yeah, I think when I originally heard the song without the video, I just generally like the vibe. It's upbeat. I generally lean towards like more upbeat, positive tunes, so it definitely struck a chord there. I don't think I really took in what the meaning of the song was at the time. I was just like, yeah, a vibe. So that I enjoyed. And then the music video wasn't what I expected, but it was a fun, return to the 90s. And actually, it honestly reminded me of just like the concept. Have either of you? I don't think either of you on this trip. Either of these trips. Neither of you. Have either of you been to Meow Wolf? I think it's Meow Wolf exhibit. Okay, well, it reminded me of a Meow Wolf exhibit. So they have them in like Vegas and Denver and where's
If we
the
ever
one?
have Molly on, you'll have to ask her about it, because she's her and Charles, I think, have been to the one in Vegas.
Okay, awesome. I went to the one in Vegas as well. I can recommend, by the way. Houston, they have one in Houston. But the one in Vegas is the one that it reminds me of, because it's like, well, so these are all like, they're basically like big buildings with a lot of different like artists like involved. I'm going to describe this really poorly.
I Googled it.
Can you describe it for me?
Yeah.
Because I'm
So
failing.
it says it's immersive art. So 5 unique experiences with a common purpose to expand worlds and minds through the lens of Meow Wolf's kaleidoscopic art.
Is that the one in Houston, or is that just in general? The Meow Wolf?
It's just in
Okay.
general.
So that's really accurate. I'm glad you brought that up, because I would have
because I had
struggled.
never heard of it. I didn't Google it to shame you.
No,
I
no,
just
no.
had never heard of it. So.
All tea, no shade. But so
That's right.
But so my understanding is that each of the locations have their own like, I want to say, theme for how they like unify the like art together, and it's kind of like an escape room, honestly, like a broad escape room. So the one in Vegas is the one that this reminded me of, and it's because like there's like, it's a front that you start in, and it's this like really crazy like supermarket. I think there's a name, and it's like crazy things like, I don't know, anxiety chips, or like cleaner that's, like all like similar like items as this like opalite spray.
Gotcha.
Similar vibe as well. It's like 90s tastic. You eventually get into the experience, and you watch this like, also, you should look this up actually, this video about cone safety and what cones colors mean what. I'm gonna have to send this to you guys, because it's amazing.
Yeah, the website's really cool. It really describes the different like themes of them.
10 out of 10 can recommend. But so this is that's essentially what it reminded me of, and so that was fun. That's all I got. Yeah, Meow Wolf.
Favorite, yeah. Favorite lyric, Austin. What was your favorite lyric?
Honestly, just the very beginning I thought was like the nicest, I would say the most fun little like dig, the like missing lovers past, but my brother used to call that eating out of the trash.
Yes.
Makes me giggle every time.
I'm so glad that you said that because that is one of my favorite lines as well. And it was like hard to decide between like what ones I like the best because I'm like, well, eating out of the trash. Obviously, I love that. So yeah, I guess Austin, any more thoughts on that? Otherwise, I can dive in while Danielle's looking.
I only have one other tangential thought. Did you guys see? So that line reminds me of, I don't watch reality TV, but I did recently see a clip from, I don't even know what reality show. It's like a love show, and there's a clip of this girl who like I guess wasn't chosen by like the guy because he was like either like flirting with another girl on the island or whatever, and she's like asked about it, and she's like, you didn't take away my boyfriend, you took away my problem.
Yes.
I have not seen that. I'm going to see if I
It's
can find that.
amazing.
I love that. Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I got.
I love that. Okay, so my thoughts on Opalite. So as a whole, I like you said, Austin, like this song is a jam. Like it's a bop. I love it. It's got such like lyrics aside, it has such like an upbeat feel, and like it just gets stuck in your head like in the best way. And then you like listen to the lyrics and you're like, this is actually kind of like a depressing song, like a depressing thought. But really, it starts out really sad, but then at the end, you know, obviously her sky is now opalite. So she's, it's a very like joyful thing. We just lost Danielle again. We're never going to get her favorite lyric. Okay, so my favorite lyric, first of all, okay, this is not my favorite lyric, but I don't know what kind of like narcotic she's putting in these words, but lightning strikes.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is about how she says it or how it's produced, but like it just scratches an itch I didn't know I had, and I absolutely love it. But okay, let me find it. My favorite. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. The dancing through the lightning strike. It was just fun imagery.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about like how she says it or what happens, but I love the lyrics lightning strikes. But okay, so my favorite lyric is what a simple thought, you're starving till you're not. Which I just love that, like I think it's one of those things that like when you have been like with the wrong people maybe in the past and like you're constantly like having to like scrounge around for like food or attention or you know whatever it is in that relationship, and then you're like in a healthy relationship whether it works out or not. It's just such a different like it's just such a different thing. Like I don't even know how to describe it, but that's kind of what it makes me think of, is like you're starving till you're not, and then maybe you don't even realize at the time that you were starving, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, like that's what. Oh, again, to like, you know, point out another line that's like all the perfect couples say when you know, and when you don't, you don't. That kind of like leans into that. But, and then as a like special mention, since you already mentioned the eating out of the trash line, but as a special mention, a storm inside a teacup, like that bridge section. I don't know what it is about that. Like, I just really, really enjoy like the visual of it. Like the storm inside a teacup is like, it's like clearly a really big problem for that tiny little teacup, you know? So I just, a special shout out to that line, but
yeah, those are really great call outs from those lyrics. Like I said, had really just vibed with the song and hadn't taken in a lot of the like actual like phrases or meanings. And I liked both of the ones that you just mentioned. The first one you mentioned about starving till you're not is kind of an interesting call out. It kind of reminds me of, you know, the whole mindset about like finding the one, right? That like you're like constantly looking, like I don't know. I feel like this reminds me of my single life too, that like you're like maybe kind of can get absorbed, which is like finding the right person for you, and it's like a total waste of time because like you said, like you'll find them, or like we said before, you'll find them when you stop looking, essentially, is what a lot of people said. And you don't.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
and I have had this conversation before, Austin, because I think when Ryan and I, like before we got married or when we were dating, it would have been like probably we were engaged. And you asked me, like, was he what you were looking for? And I'm like, I wasn't looking for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, the answer is, I mean, ultimately, yes, but like also not really, because I was not like, we met right after like the big part of the pandemic when everyone was like basically sheltering in place.
Mm-hmm.
So spring of 2021, and just before, like literally just weeks before the pandemic hit, I had just ended a relationship like kind of dramatically. So I was like, I had all of the pandemic by myself to like learn about myself and heal and grow. And I was like, I don't need no man. And then like literally coming right out of it, we met, and it was just like, you know, just not, again, obviously, ultimately worked out, but I was not looking for someone. That was not at all my goal. It was just to like come back out into the world where we could actually be near people again. So yeah. But that, yeah, kind of makes me think of that too. Like, you didn't realize what you were missing until you found it.
Yeah, that's crazy. But also, it's like, is what just the biggest challenge, right? For like trying to find the right partner. Like, you're ultimately taking a gamble, I guess, until you like find the feeling that actually makes sense for you. I say that as someone who's like not in a like long-term committed relationship like you are. You're like, what is the right choice? I don't know.
But you've had long-term committed relationships before, so you kind of like understand, I guess, the whatever of it. And you know, relationships could end at any point. So obviously, depending on the relationship, you hope it doesn't, but also you just never know.
So people change, times change. Love, man.
Yeah, not to get like deep, dark, and scary, but I'm not sure that you've heard of this French woman, Giselle Pellicot. She was married to this man for 50 years and found out really kind of accidentally that he had been drugging her and assaulting her and inviting other men into their home to assault her as well, like for 10 years. So, like, they had been married for 40 years, and then all of a sudden he started doing this. So yeah, I mean, to your point, people change. You know, she'd been with him for 50 years and never.
That's crazy.
Never imagined that would happen. So if you haven't, anybody, like, obviously it's not a fun, light, joyful topic, but and it's something maybe we could visit at a later point. She's kind of become like a feminist icon, or just like a legend in her own right, because in France, assault survivors are allowed to have a closed trial.
Wow.
So that it's very private, so they don't have to like invite the public in to relive their trauma. And her thought process was like, I should not be I should not feel shame about this because I didn't do it. Like, he was drugging me against my will. So she opened her court to let other people in, and to not only like see her, but to see the faces of the men that assaulted her in addition to her husband, so that they could be like, put the shame on them. Like, so she recently she wrote a book, and so this happened, they found out in, I think like in 2020.
Oh, okay.
So they found out a long time ago, and then the trial happened, I think, in 2024. So she recently released a book, and she's been doing interviews and stuff like that. But her whole goal has been for herself to heal, and as part of that, to like shift the shame from her as the victim to the men that actually committed the crimes. So
wow.
That took like a complete turn.
That's crazy. But, I haven't heard of that.
It's been like in the front of my mind because I keep seeing like TikToks about it, and it's kind of actually remarkable how joyful, and I don't want to say joyful, but like how I don't even want to say untraumatized, because that's not true, but yeah, like, so she mentions that she fortunately is not more affected because she was completely unconscious during everything. She had no idea what was going on. So like, she doesn't have the trauma of the experience. It's just finding out all the things that happened because it was all recorded. And so, which is really unfortunate. But anyway, that took a turn. But obviously Danielle has decided she's not going to rejoin us again. I'm not sure what happened, but she she's gone. So, any last thoughts on Opalite before we wrap this up? I want to make sure that I mention our plans for the next episode so that people can prepare if they would like to. But any other thoughts on Opalite?
Nope. I think we've covered the gambit. Let her rip.
Perfect. All right. So next week, we will be researching conflict styles. So that is the new personality trait we're going to go over. And then the Taylor Swift song we are going to discuss is Blank Space. And then in an effort to kind of really show you guys who we are, because again of the feedback that we've been getting from some people, we're going to focus the next 3 episodes, one on each of us. So Austin has volunteered to go first. So if you have any burning questions for Austin, just drop those in the comments and we'll make sure, again, I guess if they're not too outlandish, we'll make sure that we include those questions in our discussion next week. But yeah, it was, or I guess next time that we chat. So yeah, that's all I got. Any last comments for us, Austin, before we figure out what the heck happened to Danielle?
Nope. As always, it's lovely chatting with you and Danielle when she's here.
Right? Oh, good Lord. All right. Well, it was great seeing you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.